Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now I've reached a certain milestone, a milestone that I've had for some time. I've reached 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. There's been a lot of people that have supported me for a long time. There's been people that I've met through YouTube that I just would not have experienced if I had not been on that platform and described certain gods, practices certain magical forms. But as my friend group grew, and we exchanged back and forth ideas how to do this or that. It wasn't just me teaching people. It was a back and forth between myself and everybody else in the makeshift tribe. And I'm going to go ahead and name the makeshift tribe as having a lot of individuals who have really been instrumental in me progressing spiritually. You know, whether they work with spirits, whether they work with gods, whether they be Christian, whether they be more working with the left-hand path. There's a lot of people in the makeshift tribe, and I've tried to get every single person who has really helped me along my path into the tribe, and there's been others who've just been supporting me for a long time but have been a little bit more quiet. That's completely fine. Everyone out there who watches my videos, likes them, leaves comments, I greatly appreciate what you do. And I hope that we can grow more in the future so we can help more and more people so that my channel is not just about me. The tribe is not just about me for sure, but it's about helping everybody we can. Everybody who feels they're in a spiritual ditch, that they can't work their way out, or they feel like they're in a rut, and no matter how far they go forward, they can't get out of that rut. And just for a lot of people who are lost, don't know where to go from where they are. My mission, my stated mission has always been to try to help people as much as possible through spiritual means, because that is my specialty. Whether it be magic or spirituality, working with God's spirits again. I've always tried to make my life more about, not just about my ego, but more about helping other people get past their ego, but also get beyond the traditional, the base human experience, so we can truly realize ourselves, truly realize our soul, truly see ourselves for who we are. So today, in lieu of that, and after that introduction, let's go ahead and get to the video. So I'm going to read from my Odin's Book of Messages. So why do I call this Odin's Book of Messages? The reason I call it that is because everything that I've written in this book was things from Odin, sayings. Sometimes it seems very poetic, sometimes it seems like prose. A lot of them are just one or two sentences, some are longer. But as I basically open my mind in front of Odin's shrine, and I still do this, I don't think anything, I push all thoughts out. Meditation can help you with this quite a bit. If you don't know how to meditate and push all thoughts out, that's a prerequisite. And then after I did that, I stand before Odin's shrine and focus on him, and then I write whatever comes into my head. And it's a different feeling when you aren't thinking something for yourself, when something is inserted in your head. A lot of people will say, well, that just sounds like you made something up. You know, it might sound that way, and honestly, anybody who doubts it can go ahead and believe whatever they want, but for those of you who try to free write and connect to the gods, pushing all the thoughts out of your mind and allowing thoughts to come in, it's definitely, it's a hard spiritual task to learn initially, but it's so valuable. It's so valuable. It helps you connect to your gods and spirits in a way that some of the even more complicated rituals don't connect you to the gods and spirits. It seems simple, but it's not. But it is very personal. First and foremost, it is very personal. It is your connection to that God, that spirit. It's not somebody else's. So you can own that. You can have a particular relationship to a God and spirit through free writing, through just getting everything out of your mind, allowing things to come in. So without further ado, let me go ahead and dive into my Odin's Book of Messages. So once again, some of it's going to sound like poetry, some of it's going to sound like prose. And I'll read a few pages here. There's a lot of pages that I have, but I'm just going to read a few here because of time. But let's go ahead and dive in. Hey, Odin. Hey. 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 Hey, Odin. Hey. 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 Odin Alfadir Werewolf Dragadrotin, I offer you this mead, Odin, that you may drink as you see fit. Odin, I ask of you today that you allow me to share the words that you've given to me and me alone. Many based on certain runes, others just inspiration. And despite or without the pages that have been locked, I ask you if I can share with others the pages that are not locked. I thank you, Odin, for your role in my life, your role for humanity. I do not think that I will offend you by sharing some of this information. And I know that it is a big sacrifice. And I know that's what you want me to realize about sharing this information that was said to just me, as you placed your thoughts into my thoughts. Thank you, Odin, for allowing me to share now that I have reached a milestone in my life. Hail Odin, Alpha der Werewolf, Ragarotin. Hail, 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 hail. So a lot of these are going to be rune oriented because I would draw a rune for a lot of these pages and then I would allow the thoughts to pour into my mind from Odin. So the first one was actually in 2019, early. I drew the Redo rune, which looks like a capital R. So this is what the free writing that I got after I drew that rune. The journey begins in the heart and its sureness. Be sure of self, for legs give way to the uncertainty of step. Love life, but love the path more, even if it brings you to death. For hell touches not the warrior who steps beyond the brink with sureness. Preach first to the choir of the mind, for the cosmos is yet listening even there. My son's strength is divine, but that seed is also in you. There must first be agony and darkness on the path before the brightest daylight is reached. It is not easy there. There are thorns, the asas, that must be ripped from the way with bare hands. For relying on tools and aid from thorn cutters is never certain. Peace is a lie, chaos is a lie. They are the same and not even opposites. Nothingness is the opposite. Your language is colored by what you cannot see. My brothers were me, as what I have become is a fruit of our labors. The beginning was nothing. The end is nothing. The middle is the truest ceremony. You've always known how to guide yourself. Your ego makes you forget that time is an illusion. I step not for you, even if I help by guiding the way and offering fresh strength as you breathe my names. Let's go to another day. I drew Wunjo, which looks like a capital P, except the bubble part is sharp. Is Wunjo. Joy is worship. Joy in life. Joy and trust of kindred. Unity realized is unity anew each day. Silence sense joy. Silence brings joy. The canvas for creation. Even in pain, joy can be found. Pain for purpose. Pain around purpose. As long as the heart of pain be not empty like a rotten tree. Finding ecstasy in even trouble and quiet through fullness and happiness is the joy of a well-balanced warrior. A stranger is like a friend who needs to feel your joy before the transformation is complete. Joy defeats death when it is present, even in the throes of passing. Let's go to another page. Ingus, I drew Ingus. As the land is sown, no frost bites the earth, but frost will come once more. So reap what you have sown, not too early nor too late. The cycles are the template of life. Fire does not harass dry fields, and each shaft that is dry and filled not with life or little life is excellent kindling for the fire which reaches to Asgard. So, too much, the thoughts in your mind must have roots which drink of primordial waters, of everlasting truths, to not simply be an offering to a good crop, but the crop itself. If you stop in a land, pay tribute to the spirit of that land. For to do not is to tread upon unfriendly ground, not disposed to allow you passage. The heart of man is fed by the land, whom does ask for what one can give in return for its fruits, a gift for a gift, gifu, ingus, thus the partnership is established. The sweat of the brow does salt the land if one holds it in contempt. Be not the stranger who offers no wealth of stories, him who carries nothing to give in his travels, thus deserves nothing in return for nothing. When you see your father, do you not feel love? When you understand the courtship your father had with the land, how can you not fall in love in the same way? For the land blooms and is young in every season, just as it was for your father. The scent of ash is terrifying to the plowsman, but it should be far he is one with the land, and his spirit is struck a blow when the land is. Okay, for this rune I drew lagos, which is like flow. The flow begins at your center. Even affected by the canals you send forth into the world, robbing your river of its force. Your veins are the map of your world. Name them, feel them, know them. You think you know your body. You do not. My brothers are within, Vili and Ve. My mother is in my chest, and my father is behind my eyes. If you do not hold your clan within, your clan does not exist. If I find you first within, and trace your roots to know you. The universe is as so many rivers, leading to the ocean of origin. Navigating them must be done by finding those things within yourself that correspond with currents of cosmic energy. To ride the current is to be swept along. Skillful is the warrior with a proper sail and strong knowledge of divine oarsmanship. When one reaches a fork, it is a quick decision. One must have decision far in advance. One should have decided far in advance. When instinct becomes action, then where is there room for uncertainty? Man-made rivers sink into disrepair quickly. After being made, should one forget himself, but even if a young one is in his cradle, is set upon an ancient river, no matter if the child allots or not, his destination is assured. Let's go to another one. We will read two more. This one is Isa, standstill, ice. Cross the icy bridge of stationary and unchanging thought. Allow your true self to traverse your human mind to reach a new horizon. Do not feel cold upon the ice, as you should not be afraid of being burnt by the intensity of your own spirit. For however frigid you may feel as you walk upon your unchanging thoughts, what is below must be examined. Your supposed understanding of others are trapped below the ice. Dig them up and craft them into different shapes as you gaze upon them, with one pointed concentration, like a potter shaping as the wheel of realization spins the mind matter. Your step is held back, your purpose far and unclear. What will you do? Trudge on past doubt or freeze? Chaotic being oftentimes are never able to be stable, never able to even consider it. These have become frozen in their ways. Poor pitiful creatures. Rejoice, for your Father never stops, yet is still in all of his actions. If you learn to act with stillness, you will gain the ability of a god. Moving to make offerings is stillness in action, for a sacrifice is an action against your ego, the best of efforts. The last one we will read for today, my friends. And it's going to be the last one for a very long time. I drew Ehwaz, which is the capital M looking rune, Ehwaz. Iwaz is more of like a long thunderbolt Z, but Ehwaz is movement. It is a capital M. That's where we get the capital M anyway. Up, down, side to side, there you are. Nowhere you are not. A line is given by the divine for you to follow. Take hold of it with eyes closed, eyes open. The predator on can smell prey from far off. Use your deeper nose to smell out your path up the great tree of life. The giants cannot survive in Asgard, for the light does burn them. Bring my light to these dark places within yourself, that you may reveal yourself, and saints will light the watchfires, leading others to you as fellow riders. You are my horse. They who are willing, Sleipnir is composed of many such souls. Sleipnir is Odin's horse. The tree of Yggdrasil is hollow, that man may ride up its hollow, as he rides up his own spine. And finally, the elves of light may survive Ragnarok, but those gods who truly care will sacrifice themselves for your sake. Otherwise, all would be lost. Instead, much will be found. The elves of light may survive Ragnarok, but those gods who truly care will sacrifice themselves for your sake. Otherwise, all would be lost. Instead, much will be found. So, these are the pages I'm going to read. There's quite a few more, but this is the allotment for today. I thank you very much for listening. I thank you very much for subscribing, commenting, and just following my work. I hope to hear from all of you. Let me know how you like these verses, and you can ask if the ways that you might be able to do it. At any rate, thank you all, and I hope all of y'all have a wonderful day.